Friends, today I'll be talking about on blockchain technology. 2018 is the year where everybody is talking about blockchain technology and how blockchain technology is going to disrupt the financial sector. So, is it a time to celebrate, or the years to come? Is it a time to celebrate where we are going to see a cashless economy? Is it time to celebrate a cashless economy, or we plan as people across the globe in an ecosystem are working towards building a cashless society? In my personal view, I think yes, the time is very right and very apt when we say it's time to celebrate. Let's celebrate 2018 first of all, and let's understand the new way of managing wealth by utilizing blockchain based technologies. The adoption will take its own course of time. That is one thing we all need to understand, and governments across the globe have to understand this factor. The first country who has accepted the blockchain and coming up with the laws is Belarus, and how things are going to change in the near future, it would be very exciting to see. What is happening in the blockchain technology is basically blockchain is an innovation, it's a disruption of doing business in a different way. So the experimentation process was there earlier, but the technologies which are based on blockchain cannot be corrupted or it cannot be interrupted. So it's like from point A to point B, there is a transaction happening. So there's no mediator, or what we can call as there's no third party involved when there's a transaction between two parties. Say for example, you are a business owner and you want to send money to US. When you need to send money to US, you are utilizing the banking services or you utilize PayPal. Companies like PayPal and the banking services, they have their own charges, they keep their own commission, so the cost factor is more. So what happens in a blockchain technology, since the cost is very less? Now, why the cost is less? Why we say when we use a blockchain based technology, the cost would be less? Because there's no server and everything is decentralized. Since it is decentralized, so the underlying factor or the silver lining is the cost is very low when you are using blockchain based technologies. So innovators across the globe are building things. They are using the blockchain technology to disrupt the healthcare sector, to disrupt the land sector where there's a lot of transactions which are happening. And the foremost thing is to prevent fraud, is to prevent corruption. And if five, six parameters are taken care of, things would be very different, and the society as a whole, the world as a whole, would be a better place to live. Is to understand the underlying technology. So utilizing blockchain technology, the crypto world is being developed, which is known as a cryptocurrency. Yes, Bitcoin is one point where everybody is baffled the way it is growing. Now, why Bitcoin is growing is something we need to understand. What is important here is when a cryptocurrency is used in many verticals of doing business, the cost is increased. And Bitcoin per se is based on the dollar cost, it is based on the oil cost, and there are many factors. I won't go into those factors, but in a general way, when a cryptocurrency is being utilized in different verticals, the price, there's a change in price. So there's a revolution and there's a pragmatic approach of seeing how blockchain is going to disrupt the industry, not only in India but across the globe. So we need to see everything in a realistic view, and how companies like Amazon, how it has reached from selling books online to selling everything online. As quoted by Mr. Ambani, big data is the new oil. So what is the oil which needs to be minted? What is the oil which needs to be understood is the big data which is being generated. And these servers, if you talk about Amazon, Amazon is providing servers. So whatever websites we are hosting there, so a lot of data is being churned. They are analyzing the data and they then come up with what is going to be the blockbuster product for the customer. So this is very interesting. However, what is the need of the hour when we talk about the cryptocurrency regulation in India or in any other country? See, what is important here is to understand we are disrupting the financial sector. When we are disrupting the financial sector, we need to maintain the balance. Yes, the cost of transfer of money from route 1 to route 2 should be minimum. Then only the crypto world is going to work the way it has to work. transaction is very secure. That is the spark or the positive energy one can take away if somebody is interested in investing in an ICO, that is the initial coin offering. Cybersecurity is another aspect which needs to be seen. Where is the mining happening? So those are the aspects which can be discussed at a later point. What is important here is to understand how a cryptocurrency is working, or how any business model works is the supply chain demand. If the supply and demand is being met, the cost is flat. If the supply is more or the demand is more, then there's a bifurcation which needs to be taken into care of. So the value is based on supply and demand. It is distributed leisure, so it is cheap, no third parties involved. Say for example, when you talk about PayPal, as a consumer, if I paying my patent attorney in another country, there's a lot of cost involved, around $25 to $30 depending upon the amount which you're transferring. You have to give that amount, so like 5% of whatever transaction charges are there, and it's not easy. But blockchain-based technologies or blockchain-based innovations are going to take care of this sector. So we need to understand what's the science behind the blockchain technology. It is based on zero and ones. So for example, there's a number game of XYZ numbers and there are zero and ones. So when transaction is happening from point A to point B, so if any number that is 0, 1 is changed, so it is secured. You cannot tamper that number. So this is the realistic view of how the blockchain is working on a very, very basic level. Then we need to understand the market cap. As I already talked about, demand and supply will lead to the market cap of that particular coin. And the technology, the blockchain technology is very, very powerful. When we say a technology is powerful, yes, if there's a technology antidote is going to come in the near future, because that's what innovation is all about. So let's see till the time there's no antidote for this. We are very hopeful that blockchain would be the technology to invest in. And anyhow, the financial sector is going under crisis. Recapitalization is a need of the hour. Governments across the globe are trying to analyze this whole process. So the basic thing is scrutiny is very important. If we talk about Amazon or companies like Uber, they didn't own anything. Ownership was not there. So this is something we should learn from the big companies or the best of the sharks in the world right now, that ownership is not important. What is important is to understand the underlying silver lining of doing business. Right now, when we talk about technology for era, everything is going to be technology based, and it is the big data, which is a new oil. The analysis of the data is going to predict the future of how the customer acquisition can be done in different verticals. So if you have any questions related to blockchain-based technologies, or you want to discuss anything about how to do business across the globe, I would be happy to assist. My name is Priti Khasigar. Tomorrow I would be speaking at an event at Leela Ambience. That's a CXO meetup, and we have an Excellence Award ceremony also in the evening. I would be happy to connect with people who would like to discuss about technology. And technology is something which really excites my neurons also. Anyhow, I look forward to have a very fruitful discussion tomorrow. And happy patenting, and I look forward to innovators across the globe who would be using blockchain-based technologies to innovate products. And the patent application writing of blockchain-based technology is a little different and tricky as compared to the software-based technologies which we were drafting in the current era. So happy to connect, and put your questions in the comment box below. We'll get back to you. Have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.